he takes over these games, and you know, it's not. He takes over these games, and you know, it's nice to have a.
That's kudos to my girls. They you know.
Inbounds to Bridges.
Hey, good afternoon. Do you have the delay on? Welcome to live radio. Sometimes there's a delay on. Sometimes the delay doesn't get taken off. Welcome to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome to the Tuesday show.
They're talking now.
Hey, I don't... Doggone it. Anyway, welcome to the show today. Steve Webster along with Mike Corson, Aaron Clark, and Mike Hesher. Hi, Mike.
Steve, how you doing?
I'm good.
And yes, it was my fault for the delay. I'm the one that put the delay on.
No, I wasn't looking for that. Although it was nice that well, I'm all in a tither here. How do you start? Well, anyway, welcome to the show. We've got a good show lined up today. Great Bend Batcat General Manager Roger Ward will be in. We'll talk to the voice of the Barton Cougars, Cole Reif. And Mike Corson on the prowl will be talking once again to Nathan Brockelman. A little different topic, though, today, right?
Yeah, a little bit of girls wrestling, but he's a two-time state champ from Norton, so big culture up there, so talk about that.
Okay, so there you go. It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
He takes over these games, and you know, it's nice to have a player that, you know, whether it's by him scoring or by facilitating or just by playing with the energy he plays with, he can get you from 8 to 15 in a hurry. And then you've got control of the game. So it's nice when you got somebody like that.
That's kudos to my girls. They you know, they know when to lock in, and you know, we had a little pep talk at halftime about that. You know, staying locked in, how bad do you want it, stuff like that.
Inbounds to Bridges to Love for 3. It's good. Langston Love hits the three-pointer.
We have gotten beat, and granted, we got beat to a team that was projected to win the league tonight. That's really good. And they went through the same crap we're going through.
You know, right now we just got to focus on what's next. You know, good thing we don't play again until Saturday, so we get to rest a little bit, regroup a little bit, and just be aware of what we need to do better.
The fact that other teams prepare for us differently, right? Their players are more focused. We talk about that all the time. How focused were we going into game X or game Y or game Z? And they'll say very focused, and I say, well, now they are doing that for us. So we have to raise our level of focus because the coaches don't have to motivate them when you have a number in front of your name.
He told you guys. I mean, he mentioned to you that he's going to play. So, I mean, that's his mindset. And then we'll just take it day by day and see how he does.
He really reminds me of a young Tom Brady. If you go back to that first touchdown to Jamar Chase, he was uncovered, and Tom Brady would rip your heart out if you drop coverage for a nanosecond.
You don't have to do this, Mike. You don't have to.
I understand it.
You don't have to do this.
I understand.
I promise you, you don't have to compare him to Tom Brady. No one's making you.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Yes, sir. Welcome into the Tuesday show. Take two. Steve Webster, Mike Corson, Aaron Clark, and our studio engineer, Mike Hesher, who will also be part of the program today at various times. Let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so. In Part A, we told you who's going to be on the show today, and we did a retake because some good stuff to lead us into sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Derek Joyner, head coach of the Ellenwood Eagles, who defeated Houston last night 47-37 to win the Winter Jam. Second time they've won it, first time since 2014. Britt Dutton with 14 points through the first 3 quarters and ended up with 18. Derek Joyner, maybe with an understatement a little bit. It's nice to have a guy that you can just kind of take over and stretch that lead out. No one else has a toy like that, except maybe the Grape End Panthers right now. But
And he was at the game last night, Ian Premer was. But yeah, it is fun to watch. We have had really good point guards in the area before, but none that play maybe with such poise as Britton Dutton. And so as I'm shooting video highlights, I'm trying to share the wealth and get some other kids on there, but then he'll do some misdirection one-handed drive, and it's like, we got to use that one.
And one thing that really stood out to me last night watching him was at one point, one of his teammates, I want to say it was number 2 more for Ellenwood, got kind of tangled up with some Hoisington players, and he got up and he looked like he was going to get up pretty fiery. And before he could even get fully to his feet, Dutton already has like 2 hands on him, pulling him away from the Hoisington guys. Good head on Dutton there, making sure he doesn't, even making sure his teammate doesn't get a silly foul, get Ellenwood in trouble there. Good head on his shoulders too.
Hoiston battling pretty good for a quarter. And they kept the pace at 47-37.
Yeah, I think it topped out at like 15 mid-third quarter, but Joyner, there was another cut in there that they had them really well scouted, but you got Tony Moore and Leighton Haxton making difficult shots all night, so that kept the score pretty manageable.
So Ellenwood wins it. Cimarron wins the girls' title after being shut out in the first quarter, 12-0. That was the head coach of Cimarron, who's Austin Stebbins. Said, well, he got things turned around and held Hoiston to 9 points the rest of the game and shut them out in the fourth quarter. So a championship game that had a shutout in the first quarter and a shutout in the fourth quarter.
And he said that was the 12-0 first quarter. He said that was the first time. I don't know how long he's been there, but that's the first time he's ever been blanked in a quarter. And that's an 11-2 team that Hoisington just dominated early. The defense, 12 turnovers in the first quarter.
33-21 was the final score. So the Winter Jam finally in the books. The extended one, it went 8 days this year. It is finally over. Pratt defeated Ellsworth in the girls' third-place game, 43-30. Pratt boys over Ellsworth, 62-52 in the third-place game. Not much time to rest because Ellenwood right back on the road. They'll be at Minneapolis tonight. Hoisington Cardinals will be at home tonight, and they will be taking on Phillipsburg. And we've had a broadcaster's change. Hash, man, he's just battling through it. He is battling through it, man.
I don't know.
Playing hurt.
I'm not sure playing hurt, but it's been a rough 48 hours, a lot rougher than I thought it was going to be, but I'm getting some steroids here this afternoon, so the roid rage may be
We'll stay away from it.
I'm going to be at home anyway, so I can destroy my house.
Okay, so Aaron Clark will handle the broadcast
We got to
tonight,
get me
man.
a bullpen.
How about that, man? You want some experience getting some play-by-play? You've got it this week, right?
I've been thrilled. Hesh told me yesterday I might be getting the 2 evening games as well, and I was itching ready to go.
Yeah, 4 games in one day is tough. I mean,
it was a good time, to be honest with you. It was some quality basketball I had to watch in there,
and he gets time with his mom because mom keeps the stats.
Yeah, for the first 2 games there.
So did she stay around for the last 2?
No, because we had a Gene Manweiler who does just an excellent job.
Oh, that's right.
Stats.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So she got a break.
He felt he was gonna let my mom have the ideal seat to take stats in, but when she told him she was leaving, he was like, "You don't have to leave because I'm here. Like, I'll take my own stats, but that's
Gene's
just for
so
me."
nice.
Gene's a wonderful guy.
So
Takes incredible stats.
Did your mom go to the hospitality room?
She did. She definitely did.
So that's a good experience for you. You're going to go in the media tent.
It was. She had a good time,
Okay, so tournament's over with, and then we get back into regular season basketball tonight. Dighton's at Otis Bison, St. John's at La Crosse, Victoria's at Ellis, and Natoma playing at Chase tonight. Garden City, the only team in the Western Athletic Conference. Their boys take on Goodland tonight after losing for the first time against Wichita Heights, going back to last Saturday in the championship game of the Valley Center tournament.
Okay, John Morris a call on Learfield last night. Langston Love making a three-pointer. That put Baylor ahead 57-49. That was part of a 13-4 run after KU had cut the lead down, or a 12-3 run. KU took their only lead of the game, and then Baylor went out and went on a run. They end up beating KU last night, 75-69. So KU's losing streak is 3. Fourth time that's happened in Bill Self's 20 seasons. And a lot of times after a loss, you've heard Bill Self rip into his team saying, you guys aren't very tough. Said, you know, it's a little bit different this time. You got to massage them a little bit different. They've lost 3 games in a row heading to Kentucky. Jalen Wilson, again, the big offense, although Grady Dick had 24, Jalen Wilson with 23. Time to regroup before they head to Kentucky.
I wouldn't be concerned with the 3-game loss. I'd be more concerned that they've played from behind a lot of games this year. Big 12 is going to be competitive night in, night out, but regular season games, maybe they'll hurt you a couple seeds come tourney time, but I would expect them to be back in blue blood position come tournament time.
Well, that's kind of weird because Baylor, they lost their first 3 conference games after they were picked to win the league. Now they've come back and won 5 in a row. I think it's going to be that kind of year. Now, the only team that hasn't faced that has been Kansas State. They've just been rolling all season long. Couple losses, that's it. They'll be at Ames tonight to take on Iowa State, ranked 5th in the country. Their best ranking since December 6th of 2010. 8 o'clock tip-off tonight on ESPNU.
I was just looking into that Kentucky game between KU and Kentucky, kind of 2 blue bloods who maybe aren't having the ideal season they want. Kentucky 13-6 this season.
They went through their slumber a little bit earlier too.
That's what I was trying to look into real quickly here on my phone. And they, 2 programs who historically have a lot of success, hoping to get back on track.
Yeah, they've lost 3 games. KU.
And if K-State
4.
can win this tonight, 2-game lead atop the Big 12,
Holy
which is
smokes.
nuts.
Yeah, K-State's 6-1, Iowa State 5-2, Texas is 5-2. KU down in the slop at 5-3 with Baylor. Then you have TCU's 4-3. Wow, Oklahoma tonight at TCU. Oklahoma State plays at number 10, Texas tonight. Andy Reid didn't have a lot to say yesterday, except Patrick Mahomes is playing because he said he is. He also said that the high ankle sprain that he suffered against Jacksonville, less severe than the one he played through during the 2019 season opener. So that he sustained in that. Mahomes came back from the next week against the Raiders, went 30 of 44, 443 yards, 4 touchdown passes without an interception in a 28-10 win over the Raiders. I hope that probably threw all the bettors into a conundrum. They don't know what to do now.
Speaking of the bettors, what game was it the other night? It was the Chiefs game. They were favored by 9 points. They got the field goal with 35 seconds left and beat the spread. Unbelievable.
You don't mess with Vegas, man.
They're
You don't mess
solid.
with Vegas. So the Chiefs, can they line up and become a running team? I think they can. But is it in Andy Reid's DNA to go?
That's my thing. It's Andy Reid.
Okay, you can talk. You don't need to wave at me like that. I thought we were going to blow up.
I'm having a spaz attack over it. Seizure. No, but does Andy Reid want to? I think he just wants to throw the ball.
That's the thing. I think they can run the football. They've got 3 tight ends. They can line up if they come out with something different. But because Mahomes isn't going to be able to run around as much, I don't care. You're going to have to run the football, but can they stay committed to that style of football? I don't know, man.
Get the lead early, and then you can do it and keep the ball out
But
of
I don't know if you
Joe's
can,
hand.
though.
And
It's
yeah,
I'm excited to watch Isaiah Pacheco get a chance. He's really been getting to be featured as that kind of run the ball, just grind it out. And I'll say, with a lot of quarterbacks having that high ankle sprain, it'd be a lot more damaging. Mahomes, even right after when he came back in, didn't look too bad. Don't get me wrong, still missing some of those throws that he'd usually make just because not having it's a difference between being able to make off-platform throws and having to make off-platform throws because you only have one good ankle under you. But I don't think it's going to completely negate their options in the passing game.
It's tough to dig in, but, Dr. Bombay, the team doctor for Kansas City, will shoot something in there. He'll be just fine. Mike Tannenbaum on ESPN Radio this morning, they tell him, slow down a little bit, comparing Joe Burrow to the GOAT, Tom Brady, although Joe Burrow's a pretty cool customer. There you go, sounds the past 24 hours or so. We've got a packed show. Cole won't come back if we shortchange him on time, so I don't want to make sure we do that. Roger Ward standing by in the green room. But we have breaking news today. Cash, are you okay now?
I'm okay, but I don't remember what my breaking news was.
Mr. Adalberto Mondesi is to the Red Sox.
Yes, so the Royals are sending him for a player to be named later from Boston, and Josh Taylor, a reliever, will turn 30 in March. I don't know if you could have got much for Mondesi. I mean, if he ever stays healthy, man, that's one of those trades that, if it's the Royals, so he'll probably come back and hit 40 home runs and steal 30 bases next year and stay healthy for the Red Sox. But the Royals had to do something. They're running out of room for him.
Well, everybody talks about his potential. He has great potential. He's never lived up to it because of injuries, yes. But even when he hasn't been injured, he played pretty much 60 games with a strike season. It ended up he didn't have that great a stat.
Well, that was
I'm harsh,
2 years
okay?
ago.
I'm a grumpy old man today.
I guess so. Well, how old is he? 25?
Well, he was like 19 in the World Series team, and that was 15. So he's probably.
I don't have any problem with it.
I don't either.
I'd say we're getting ready for a new Royals team. Yesterday they traded Michael Taylor, the Gold Glove center fielder.
Gold Glove center fielder. I want somebody who can hit the ball out of the park and play a Bronze Glove center field. Although that is a valuable thing, but man, it's not.
I just worry based on their averages last year if they're keeping him in-house, whether that's going to be an improvement from 250.
Well, I don't think Michael Taylor couldn't jump in the air 30 feet to get some of those balls from going into the fountains in center field. So if he didn't make that
We're getting Michael Jordan.
I know. Defenses, you always got to think about it. We're going to talk baseball. Roger Ward coming in next here on Sports Day. And Mike Hesher, a Sports Day salute to you, sir.
Let's give him a delayed salute.
Good one.
I thought that the computer was about to crash because it starts to do those jumpy things where it goes down. No, I like the stuff was still on there, though.
Yeah, imagine my surprise. I didn't know what was going on, and then you said something.
You say something about to blow up
10 minutes
later. What's going on? Okay, yeah, Roger Ward up next.
Don't feel bad if you're not a phone expert. That's what we're here for. At Next Tech Wireless, we'll help you in the transition to a new device step by step. Want to customize the screen? We've got you. Have questions about some of the functions? We're happy to help. You're not just another number to us. Come see us today, and we'll get you into the best phone for your needs. We're friends. We're neighbors. We are Kansas. Next Tech Wireless.
Attention high school juniors. Explore your career paths at Barton Community College's Junior Day, February 15th. This fun and free day features a campus tour, giveaways, yard games, pizza. And oh, did we mention $3,000 in scholarships will be up for grabs? Learn about a variety of career paths, some which can get you in the workforce and making money in just one semester. Sign up online at juniorday.bartonccc.edu through February 1st to attend Junior Day.
This is Suzanne at My Favorite Furnishings in Larned, where we care about your shopping experience and we pride ourselves on being a one-stop destination for all your home needs. Come in today to browse our huge inventory and let our designers show you our extensive collection of furniture, wall art, rugs, and home decor. Remember, we also carry GE and Speed Queen appliances, flooring, and mattresses. Come see us today at My Favorite Furnishings in downtown Larned. You'll be glad you did.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
A lot of times we say pitchers and catchers are going to report here in 30 days, but we've got our own, thing that makes us think of baseball season. Skipper's in, Roger Ward. Although are you to wear a tie now since you're in the front office full time?
I will not be wearing a tie. I don't know what I'll be wearing, actually. I haven't thought about it, but I guarantee I'll be in shorts.
Okay, so you're not gonna wear a coat and tie down there?
You know, our league has been growing, and we feel like we're really strong top to bottom this year, and it was brought up, and we just thought it was a good time to rebrand. And, you know, I don't know if that's going to carry any weight around the country with players or whatever that we attract to our league, but I definitely like the ring of it.
And it looks like, okay, you've got Hutchinson back, the Monarchs, Hayesville, Batcats, Derby Twins. Looks like Newton's in there.
Yeah, Newton's still in there.
And then those other two is, what's that?
So we've got
dancing
the
thing
Kingman
there?
Islanders, which
Okay, all right,
they were
okay.
officially a new team last year. First year in Kingman was last summer, and
They
then
worked it good. I mean,
they weren't bad. I mean, they actually beat us a couple of times. I mean, and I know
but
that
organization-wise, though.
organization-wise, they're going to try to do things the right way. They take pride in their town like we do. They want to do good things and their local people. So their GM and their head coach, you know, they're very passionate. So I can see them doing some good things there. Then we've got the Kansas Cannons, who were the cream of the crop in the KCLB, but they've decided to come over and join our league, and so we opened up our arms and we took them.
So Dodge City Liberal and Hayes, they're not. Phil Stevenson, is he still out at Dodge or what?
No, Phil's actually the head guy for the Kansas Cannons, and they're
Okay.
based out of Augusta. He's back in Wichita. He's back on the radio doing his thing there, and
My
he's
God, help us all.
He's been coaching the Cannons. I think last year might have been his first year back, but
Okay.
So he's in our league, and that's a good thing.
Okay, so so tell me how the structure is going to be. I mean, you've already got your schedule, right?
Schedule's done. Yeah, we're going to play each team in a 3-game set the first half, have an all-star break, which, you know, I'm proud to say that Great Bend's going to be hosting the Jayhawk Collegiate League All-Star game
How about that?
on July 2nd. It's going to be fun. And then we'll play a second half. So the first half winner will play the second half winner in a best out of 3 to be the outright winner of the league. And those two teams will get bids to the NBC World Series for sure. And the other teams that finish 3rd through 7th or 8th, whatever it is, they'll have their own little tournament and looking for an at-large bid to the NBC.
You know, this is great, Roger, because that was one of the things. I mean, every one of these. I mean, Newton, Kingman, I like what they're doing there. You've got the Cannons. I mean, Phil knows what he's doing. The Monarchs, Hayesville, and Derby. Okay, you know that those teams, I mean, you never know for sure, but you've got a very, very good idea that they're going to be there and cross the finish line. It's not going to be more of these, okay, we've got a 4-game series in there. I've got sponsor nights all loaded up, ready to go, and then they say, well, we can't play because we can't. This is huge.
This is huge. I mean, we'll admit to anybody who asks that we've been a little bit too open in bringing in new teams because, you know, we wanted numbers, 8, 9, 10 teams, you know, but we were taking people who hadn't proven anything or that they're going to be loyal, that they're going to show up, they're going to finish what they started, and they're not going to hang teams out to dry, you know, because there are only a few teams in our league that do it the way that we do it and have to, you know, we rely on our community and the advertisement and the sponsorships, and we're very grateful for that, but we don't get it in, you know, it really hurts us as a program, and it puts a bruise on you know, on the whole thing. So, you know, we have to have those teams show up. You know, we ran into another bind last summer, and we lost a lot of our players because they got bored and this and that.
Yeah, right at the end of the year.
You can't pick up games. You can't find games. So we feel really good about this situation. Everybody's been around for quite a while. And, I mean, there's some guys in the league that have been around for a long time. And we know what we have, and everybody's going to be there till the end.
Okay, who's going to run it? I mean, who's the commissioner of this thing?
So, actually, that's some new news. The Cheney Diamond Dogs, they've folded. You know, Pat Hahn, who's led them, and they've been a really good organization.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we try to all be like them as far as winning and the kind of players we bring in. He's got more family things going on with his girls growing up and coaching softball and working and this and that. So, but we thought it was a tailor-made situation for him to be our league commissioner. So we voted on it, and he'll be with us at that capacity. If I had to guess, probably before long, 3, 4, or 5 years, I bet Pat's back in it somewhere and finds some new roots, maybe Park City or something like that, and has a team again. But for now, you know, he's going to help us from the commissioner standpoint, break ties on votes, all that good stuff. Help promote the league.
And he's respected, but you got to have the band director up there. You know what I mean? You can't have all the guys rolling off doing whatever they want. You got to have the main commissioner.
You have
up there.
to. I mean, we tried it, you know, and we had a lot of good ideas and this and that, but nothing got done because nobody was holding us accountable as a whole. You know, it was just us saying, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. And a lot of things weren't getting done, or they're getting done late. So hopefully this will get us back on track as far as that goes. And we have one person that we can call about umpire problems or travel problem, whatever the case is, and be able to call him and get it fixed.
I know I'm asking a lot of organizational things, but I mean, if this thing's going to go forward, these are nuts and bolts, you know, the foundation that you got to have. So you got a league constitution and like that, you know.
Yeah, we have the bylaws and everything in place, and some will change, you know. Obviously, we have to vote on everything. Each one of the GMs of a team is a board member, so we all have a say in it. We don't always agree, but it's majority vote, and that's the way it goes.
And no one's going to pick up their ball and go home.
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to get that hurt that they're going to pick up their ball and go home. So,
how excited are you about these developments here in the off season?
I'm pretty excited. You know, it's you take some time away after each summer, and I really have taken a lot of time to myself. But I'm chomping at the bit. You know, I'm excited at the roster that we have put together. I'm excited that at the league and the competition it's going to bring. I'm excited for our coaching staff and see what they can do and let them grow, and hopefully I can help guide them in certain ways and not be over the top of them. I'm excited for our fans. I mean, you know, we're going to try to continue to do new things to Al Burns Field to make it a really enjoyable night each time you come and visit and do some things during the game. I'm just excited. You're number 7 already. It's crazy. I kind of think, well, maybe we should have got more done already. But to be honest with you, looking back the first 6 years, we've got a lot accomplished. We're not done. We're still getting things going, and the future's bright.
Tell me about your coaching staff.
Well, right now we've got Jonathan Mariani, who's been my assistant, you know, the last 2 years, who really his main gig at the college is he's in admissions. So he goes out and tries to recruit kids to come and play, go to school. But he loves baseball, and he does help out as a volunteer with the Barton program, which we all respect. It's a big reason why we're doing what we do. And so he's going to step in there. He's excited about it, you know. And right now, some of the assistants are still up in the air. We're going to try to solidify that. And when we do, we'll make the announcement like we did for John this week. And but that's what it's all about. You know, I want to get as many people involved as possible who I like, who like me, who love the game, who are passionate about it, have the same direction and visions, and it's about sharing it. So the more people can get involved, whether it's a coaching standpoint, volunteer standpoint, board standpoint, whatever, that's what we want. We want to keep growing.
What kind of GM are you going to be?
I don't know. I've been a GM already, but I haven't. I never fired myself or fined myself as the head coach. But I mean, I think, I try to treat it as professional as possible. I had big dreams as a kid and growing up, and, I didn't reach some of those, probably my own fault, but this is my own little, pro team that we can try to do the best we can and represent our town, our county, the region, and everything. And that's what I've tried to do since the very beginning when we announced in 2016 that we were going to start in 2000. I want to do it all right, and we're striving to do that every day.
Feel better about this than any other time that we've had just because of that affiliation. You've got teams that have been in it for a while.
Yes,
Very
sir.
exciting news. Yes.
Since you're now being in a different league, are you going to be able to play Hayes to start the season, keep that rivalry going or not?
Well, so we have released our schedule, and we always try to play 2 of the 3, either Hayes, Dodge City, or Liberal. Frankly, he was not going to call me, and I called him last year, so we're out. Bad blood there still. So we've got Liberal in 4 games, 2 there, 2 here. Dodge City, 2 games, 1 there, 1 here. Hayes is out.
Come on, that's a Hatfield and McCoys. You want me to call him?
I met him halfway last year. It's one of those deals. Hayes, Great Bend, and
that'd be great for both. Anyway, okay. Well, the last thing before I let you go is I hope your stinking Wildcats fall flat on their face.
Oh man, I didn't think we were going to go there. I've been pretty disappointed for a while now about the Kentucky Wildcats basketball program and the way it's going. But I'll say this. Cal's a better coach than what people think.
Yeah.
They're changing. They're evolving now. They're finding some things out about some other guys. They're changing their style of play. In the last 4 games, they played good. But I don't think we have a shot against KU, especially coming off of 3 losses. That just doesn't happen. And I think the Jayhawks are going to embarrass the Wildcats at Rupp Arena on Saturday.
I hope you are a prophet.
I'm also playing
Roger
double
Ward.
reverse psychology.
Yeah, exactly. I see how that. Yeah. Making the KU fans overconfident. We'll go in there and lay
May the
an
best
egg.
team win.
Okay, that'd be great. Roger, thanks for coming in.
Appreciate
We're going to be talking a whole bunch more, and I guess we got to have a separate GM show and a manager show now. So
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to introduce those guys.
Yep, bring them all in. All right, Roger, thanks a bunch.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, Sports Day rolling on. Cole Rife, Barton Cougars headed to Arc City tomorrow night. Big matchup with the Cali Tigers. That's next on Sports Day.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
And construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Stay toasty warm this winter with Zippo brand products from P&S Security. Yes, Zippo makes great lighters, but they also make hand warmers, liquid and solid fuel fire starters, and matches. And if you've ever wanted a safe for keeping firearms and other valuables secure, now's the time to get one. P&S has a good selection of Browning and Liberty safes, and they deliver too. So drive out west to P&S. P&S Security, a division of P&S Electric west of 10th and Patton Road, Great Bend.
GB Tires, the tire experts of Great Bend. GB. Generations of buyers come back time and again. GB. Out in the field, out on the road. GB Tires has the names you know. Like Bridgestone, Firestone, on GB you can depend. GB. With fast, friendly service like it's always been. Don't need an appointment, just bring it in. GB Tires, the tire experts of Great Bend.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Cole Rife with us right now. I'm still giddy. I mean, that's great news that Roger Ward brought, because, that's been the problem. You always have, these, you knew there was a couple flat tires on the league. Just going in, you had a feeling that someone wasn't going to finish the league or something like that. What was it like, the Wichita team last year?
Sunflower Seeds.
Yeah.
And then they had a few years ago, they had the Oklahoma team. That was just a disaster.
Yeah, that was when it was in the Jayhawk League, You knew that wasn't going to go. But, man, to come into this year and have 7 solid teams that have been around for a while now, I'm as excited about Batcat baseball as I think I've been since they started this thing 7 years ago.
Yeah, I think it kind of got diluted when you try to add so many teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say what you want, like, oh, we want a big conference and a power conference, but I felt like he was stretching out too thin in that conference. I mean, there's some really, really good teams. I know when they were paired up with, with Cheney, and they were, they've been going through their runs. That's been great. So, yeah, I like it. People look at this and like, oh, there's only 7. I think that's probably about the right amount, especially with baseball, the way he can do a series. And I do want to say, seeing him in the Hall and the constant improvements that we see at Al Burns, hats off to Roger, because I don't think you see nearly the amount of improvements we've seen at Al Burns Field without Roger Ward and the Great Bend Batcats. Without them, that push isn't there to improve Al Burns.
No.
And it just becomes one of those run-down, once-upon-a-time stadiums or, fields that used to be good. And that's what happens a lot in towns the size of Great Bend with the facilities. So hats off to him and his staff, making that push. And it's exciting to see what's going on there. I mean, you talk about the dugouts that he wants to extend that. They adjusted the right field wall. Has that little window in there, yeah, which is cool. And he wants to do that to get a hitter's eye out in center field. New concession stand, the new netting, the new backstop. The bleachers have been at least repainted. So yeah, I just can't thank him enough for that, because that's pretty cool. Because otherwise, I don't think that gets touched.
And I don't think a lot of people realize too that probably is not like the lighting and stuff like that, but for them to get to the 7th year. Not only with his effort, but some of his own monetary funds.
Yeah, you have to stick with it to push a program like that from the ground up to get to year 7, because I mean it would be very, very easy to fold. And to talk about the effort that you need to go out there and knock on doors essentially to get funds and to make sure your program and your
and he's got a good board now. People coming in. So yeah, it's really, really going good. Okay, you had a week off. And now you're right back into it. Start again down at Cowley. I kind of compared it yesterday. It is cool because you're playing inside of a pumpkin.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because everything is like the orange down there. But still one of my favorite arenas in the Jayhawk Conference. Got some character to it. So
yeah, one of the cozy gyms, right? I mean, because I always felt like Barton was that way. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than W.S. Scott Auditorium by all means, but yeah, one of the cozy ones. I mean, Greenhouse has its lure. Even Garden City, Dodge City's new facility. It's shiny, but it's not. It's okay. It's okay. But I like the older ones that have some character, have some tradition, have some history. Hutchinson obviously is there just because the arena is the side of the national tournament on the men's side. Heck, even Coffeyville, you can feel a little bit of the tradition when you come in. You kind of lose it when you get into the warehouse.
And the ball rolls out.
You lose it there. But, even coming into Nellis Hall, like you see all the banners and you see all the pictures of the champions and whatnot. So, yeah, I like the ones with history. And so Callie's right up there.
Okay, the games itself, the Lady Cougars go into their game ranked 17th this week, so things are getting jumbled up there at the top of the women's standings right now. Barton doesn't want to stub their toe in. They're tied with Butler. They're 10-3. Hutch 10-4. Coffeyville 10-4. And you said the separation has come, and I think we've seen it now. But got to go on the road to take on a team that they gave up 108 points on Saturday.
Yeah, watching video of Cali, I mean, I think Coach Clark touched on him. They switched up their philosophy, and it's it's a mess. I mean, it's not a mess. They've had some success. They got a couple wins. You look at their wins, though, they put up 90-plus against Cloud County, solid. Beat Pratt 97-84. Then they lost to Coffeyville in a close game. Coffeyville wasn't really feeling that style, so they kept it still in the upper 60s and low 70s. And then they gave up 108 points to Dodge City. So, I mean, Dodge is going to do that to a lot of folks. Yeah, you don't want to stub your toe because it's very easy. You could get left out. I mean, you think as good as a season Barton has had so far, you stub your toe, you could get left out of the top 4. I mean, the way Hutchinson's playing, they've won 6 straight games. Butler's won 5 straight games. Coffeyville's won 4 straight games. So, yeah, there's some big games coming up. And
you know, at least finish in the top 3, right? I mean, you don't want that 4 or 5 seed because...
Well, I mean, that 4 or 5 seed, at least the 4 seed will get you home, or, a bye.
Right, okay.
So, and then you get to host a quarterfinal matchup in that, the next round. So, I mean, yeah, you want to finish in that top 4.
I just don't want to be on the same side with Dodge.
As Dodge? Yeah, it would be nice. I see what you're thinking. Yeah, that would be nice to kind of be on the opposite side of Dodge City the way they're playing. But, yeah, I mean, right now for the Lady Cougars, I mean, everything is still within reach. I think, you still need Dodge to stub their toe once. I don't know where that's going to come. I think they have some tough road games, but the way they're playing, I don't know if anyone matches up. I know Seward County beat them by 1. At the greenhouse, so that game will be at Dodge City. So I don't know. I don't see Dodge stubbing, their toe, but hopefully they do, and there can be some meaning on that game on March 1st at Dodge.
Yeah, Hutch is coming on too.
Yeah, that'll be a big Saturday matchup.
When was the last time Hutch was in receiving votes? They just insert them into the top 25. They're never receiving votes. They just automatically put them there. It's a Hutch team.
I think we refer to him as the unsinkable Molly Brown, right? Like, I mean, them and the Hutch men were always that way with Steve Eck, and, it didn't matter what they lost to. The team that I noticed, oddly enough, is it's Spoon's Dodge City men's team. They've lost back-to-back games against teams in the bottom half of the conference. They went from 8, dropped 3 spots after losing the buzzer beater. I get it. And then they lost to Cali, though, as well at home. And Cali's in the bottom part of the conference standings as well, and they dropped 2 spots. They're now number 13.
It's that affiliation with Fletch, though. So
maybe. Yeah, he's coming back to help out former Cougars.
Well, maybe they're looking and say, well, we can't, drop them below. They're still in first place, so we've got to rank them ahead of Coffeyville and Butler, right?
I think that's it. I mean, obviously they get a lot of credit for their, playing Indian Hills close a couple times and blah, 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 but yeah, they have become the new Hutchinson team that does not fall out of the rankings.
I'm sure you let Spoon know that too, right?
Oh, yeah. I would give him a hard time.
So that is kind of interesting right now because we were kind of talking about you go and they win all those close games, and then all of a sudden you drop a couple in a row, and then you're thinking, man, we had a 3-game lead at one point, and now you start feeling the breath of those teams behind you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it before Christmas. They were playing with fire a lot. And eventually, what's the phrase? If you play with fire so much, you're eventually going to get burned.
Look at KU, man.
Yeah, so I mean, they had a lot of close games that they pulled out. I foresee that happening at least a couple more times. I think they're still going to be in the hunt for the conference championship, and they might still go out and win it. And who knows? That game on March 1st, they might beat Barton by 20. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do foresee them losing a couple more of those games that they won on the first side of the conference slate, but they're still going to be in a hunt of it. They're really good.
Okay, Barton men. It's kind of like a funeral, when Lacandra goes out and, the impact that he had. One player, you think, well, it's only just one player, but as you described it, it just changes everything, the way people defend them and things like that.
Yeah, and I think you saw that immediately in the first game without him against Garden City last Wednesday. I mean, Garden City, you look at Baru, Neva Larua, he's the top rebounder. Joey's right behind him, and he had a sensational game. But I think you can he would still had a good game, but I think you can trim 6 or 7 points off of that total. You probably trim another 5 or 6 rebounds off of his big total that he had last Wednesday night, and that's a difference. That's a huge difference when you lose by 5, 86-81. So, yeah, I don't think he has as big of a game. So you saw it on the rebounding stats, and then you obviously saw it in the scoring stats from time to time. Still able to put up 81 points. I think the other guys are starting to fill out pretty nicely. I mean, you look at what, Cougars kind of almost giving way to, Mose if he's having the hot hand. Cooper Jackson stepping up. He's coming off a career-high 21 points last Wednesday night. So I think you're seeing the guards come around. I feel like the shooting is really on the verge. I feel like they're going to turn that around. But then as soon as you got that, boom, the flat tire, with Joey. So that was a huge blow. And so we'll see. They've had a week to kind of maybe figure things out. Emiru Taisere played well. in his place, but that's still, hurts your depth a lot.
And they need this game so they don't, because they're kind of right in the middle of the batch. They've still got a shot to get up there in the top 4, but
Yeah, I mean, Pratt picked up a win last night.
Yeah.
They had a makeup game with Northwest Tech because of the weather this past weekend, so they won. Pratt's won 3 straight games, so they leapfrog Barton at the moment, but, Pratt will be in action again tomorrow night, so they'll have a chance to stay ahead of Barton even if the Cougars win. So, yeah, you're sliding a little bit, but the nice thing about it, we talked about the jumbled mess. You win one game, and then you lose one game. So it goes up real quick or it goes down real quick.
How about Northwest Tech? The women diesel mechanics go to Pratt, got a win last night.
Yeah,
How about that?
Pratt women, they've lost 4 straight games, and Northwest Tech, I talked about all the teams in the Jayhawk that you want to root for. Northwest Tech women is it. Annie Casongo, former All-American for the Barton women back in 2010, still has like all the block records for Barton. She's now in her second year at Northwest Tech, so nice dub for Annie Casongo and the Lady Mavericks knocking off Pratt last night.
Okay, Arc City, not a bad trip down there, but
no, it's always longer than you think though.
Yeah,
because like in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, just a little over 2 hours, but no, you got to go further than that. I mean, you hit 2 hours of Wichita, then you still have to go south to get to the border, and then you trek east for a little bit. So not bad though.
Better going from Coffeyville to Liberal.
In a route that dips down into Oklahoma.
Yes,
you got problems if you're making a trip into Oklahoma to get to your destination.
Yeah, exactly. You're going across cattle guards because you're in open country, so Cole, appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for the extended time today.
Yeah, well,
I
we
appreciate
try to
it,
make,
man. I feel like I'm loved. I feel like I'm wanted.
Okay, good. That's what we wanted here today on Sports Day. Coming up, Mike Corson talking a little wrestling with Nathan Brockelman here on KVGB.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Attention high school juniors. Explore your career paths at Barton Community College's Junior Day, February 15th. This fun and free day features a campus tour, giveaways, yard games, pizza. And oh, did we mention $3,000 in scholarships will be up for grabs? Learn about a variety of career paths, some which can get you in the workforce and making money in just one semester. Sign up online at juniorday.bartonccc.edu through February 1st to attend Junior Day.
If you're not filling with Cenex Premium Diesel, then you're not giving your fuel system the premium treatment. Cenex Roadmaster XL comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn, while restoring your power by up to 4.5% and your fuel economy by up to 5%. Typical number 2 diesel? I guess it covers the basics. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined once again by Panther Wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. Coach, we usually have you in to talk girls on Tuesdays, but kind of limited action this week.
Yeah, we had our Hayes duel on Tuesday with senior night, and unfortunately that did not really fare very well for the girls. Hopefully we can get that fixed for the future, especially when we perform at home. But we had a mixed squad going to Cimarron, who had kind of missed some meets throughout the year, and unfortunately with the snow moving in, we were unable to go down into the Wichita schools at Wichita Heights on Saturday.
Just a few varsity girls out in Cimarron, but the big one was a 155 where sophomore Kira Stevens wins a inter-squad competition, gets the nod, and ends up getting 2 pins in first place out there.
Yeah, she was able to pick up 2 falls, get first place. Kira's had a pretty good year between 155 and 170 all year. She stepped in the varsity lineup a little bit at 170 for us, wrestled a little bit at 155 as well, and finally decided she wanted to take a challenge match at Page, and she was able to be victorious and be the varsity wrestler for this week. Now, she was going to go to Cimarron regardless, but she will get the nod for tonight's duel with Garden City.
And maybe it's kind of like band where you're challenging for the first and second seat. What goes into a challenge match, and how do you guys go about that?
Basically, in practice, if they want, on Mondays we ask who wants a challenge, and kind of depending on how the week looks. Like this week, we have a duel tonight, so we didn't do any challenges yesterday, and we'll do our challenges Wednesday for the next week. But we let them kind of get warmed up, do the daily stuff, and once we kind of break into conditioning, give them a little break so they can get ready to wrestle the match. And we go best 2 out of 3 for if the varsity girl loses. If the varsity girl wins the first match, it's done for that week. We kind of establish all that at the beginning of the year as who was the varsity person. So once someone comes to challenge, they got to win 2 out of 3 matches. Paige lost the first one last week and got a little banged up in it. Got just for some bruises, nothing too serious. But we decided to just go ahead and let Kira take it for this next week, and we'll finish the challenges after we dual garden tonight.
Then the other big one out at Cimarron for you was Danica Klein at 145 pounds. She ends up going 1 and 2, but gets a pin in 3rd place.
Yeah, Danica took 3rd for us. She's having a pretty good year as well. She's just above 500. But a 3rd place finish. The girls that she did wrestle, the Cimarron girls, I think one of the top ranked girls in the small schools, and lost to a Dodge City girl as well.
And we'll go back to Hayes Tuesday real quick. I was over there, and I kind of thought that was going to be an exciting night of wrestling. Hayes had been number 4. Kind of thought maybe they would drop out, but as it turns out, they kind of ran the show from the start.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit better duel as well. A lot of our girls came out pretty flat-footed and not very physical, and props to the Hayes girls. They were super physical and super aggressive, and that's a different side of Hayes that we hadn't seen as far as their girls go, and it's definitely disappointing and a little bit of a gut check for some of our girls that, it's time to toughen up and buck up because regionals is right around the corner.
Talking to Panther Wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. So I've been wanting to do this for a while, and since it was a slow week with the snow, we talk about you a little bit. 2-time state champion out of Norton, and maybe people down here don't know, but maybe they do. Norton is maybe one of the centers of wrestling in the state, so what's it like growing up as a youngster in Norton and getting in those programs?
I actually was kind of a move-in, I guess you can say. I didn't really enter into the program until 6th grade, so I didn't really go through their kids program, but they've always had pretty good kids numbers there. And then our junior high program just feeds right into the high school program. Just kind of like it does there. We always had a good coach in front of us, kind of an alumni guy. And then when we feed into the high school program, you just buy into the system. And if you don't buy into the system, then you kind of get left behind and not on varsity. So I was fortunate to be on some pretty good competitive teams when I was there at Norton. My freshman year, we upset Hoxie when they were going for their 4th title back in 2003, I believe it was. So that was always a fun tournament, a great experience as an athlete. Always fun to kind of look back on. And we were able to win state my freshman, sophomore, junior year as a team. We took 3rd by 1.5 points. So there was a tie for 1st place my senior year. So almost was able to kind of pull out 4 team titles while I was going through school. But it's just an expectation that you're always going to be in the hunt for a trophy. And individually, it's an expectation to get on the medal stand. There's none of this, if you make it to state, you had a pretty good year. It's always, no one remembers the state qualifiers out there. It's all the ones that are bringing home medals.
So you wrestled, I believe he's a National Hall of Famer, Bill Johnson. How big is a figure like that when you're growing up?
Coach Johnson's a great coach. He was a great mentor. I still call him every once in a while when I have questions as far as coaching realm goes. He did finally kind of hang up his shoes, and he's on the administrative side right now. There at Norton, he's the athletic director, and you don't really realize how fortunate you are wrestling for that type of person or that type of that knowledge, that much of knowledge of a person until you kind of get outside of high school and realize, you're very fortunate just to be able to wrestle and compete for someone like that. He had a way of getting us to buy in and push us to be the best that we could be. And, hopefully our kids here in Great Bend see that that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
Maybe one more on that side. I've only been to the Class 3-2-1A state tournament at Hayes, and I like the atmosphere where a lot of these communities are invested in their wrestlers. How does that one stack up now that you've seen some other state tournaments around Kansas?
It's it's a lot of fun competing, being the only one out there wrestling in the finals. The whole entire Coliseum, the top side is completely full. The bottom side is completely full there in the Voorhees Coliseum. And I mean, I've never competed in the 5A, 6A one, but I do know being the only one on the mat, and all eyes are on you. They got, Smoky Hills Public Television rolling for all the Western Kansas people that can't quite get there to attend and, compete for Norton. We took up, I think, a whole corner, basically, of sections up there. So, when you're able to get the win in the state championship, looking up in the stands just to kind of see everyone, kind of jacked up as you are, that you just won a state title is a lot of emotion. So.
All right, Coach, where do the Lady Panthers head this week?
Our Lady Panthers we got Tuesday tonight, Garden City duel. Garden City's got a pretty tough squad. I think they're in the top 5. And then our varsity's going to make an overnight trip to Washburn Rule to kind of see some of the Eastern Kansas schools, hopefully. Kind of see where we stack up with Washburn Rule and some of those girls out that way. And then some of our junior varsity girls will be over at Larned as well.
All right, thanks for the memories, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. More sports day after this.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. And after a year in business, Dr. Luke Criley has joined the practice. He is a physical therapist that also offers dry needling. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse, 2817 9th Street, Great Bend.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here as we wrap up the Tuesday show. Steve Webster, Mike Hesher, still in studio. The other guys scram and scatter after that first segment here today.
They're done out of here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They don't waste no time getting out of here.
Okay, you've got these, but that's okay. I'm not complaining. I just got to figure out. There we go. Try that.
Okay. They just scatter like cockroaches when you're done.
Well, Aaron's busy. He's getting ready for the Hoisington game tonight with Phillipsburg. So filling in for Hesh tonight. Still a little bit under the weather. So appreciate him coming in and taking care of, especially trading posts today. I love doing the show, but it's like an hour you don't get back, of preparation. So
not a lot of work you can do when you're on live radio.
No, it's not. But so anyway, we'll have Houston Cardinal basketball for you tonight, 5:45 pregame, and Terrence Sides leading Phillipsburg girls in town. That'll be a heck of a test for the Lady Cardinals. Cardinal boys, again, I think they're playing better. I mean, Ellenwood's really, really good. They gave them a good battle last night. So that'll go at 5:45 on 100.7 Eagle Country. Really cool stuff with Roger Ward today. And I still feel as good about this franchise as I ever have. I mean, with this new league affiliation, Jayhawk Collegiate League, there's 7 teams in there. May not be 10 or 11, but those 7 teams are going to finish the year. They're not going to mail it in late in the year. So good thing Roger came on. Back tomorrow with more Sports Day on KVGB.